Today, we're going to reveal the truth about the most fraudulent, sought-after, and expensive item on your grocery list, olive oil. But today, unlike the usual warnings, we're going to reveal 5 brands that deserve real recognition. It's that oil you see on the supermarket shelf at an affordable price that you often ignore or walk right past, thinking that if it's cheap, it can't be high quality. We've been conditioned to believe that quality only exists in a dark glass bottle with a gold label that costs a small fortune. But behind simple labels and fair prices, there are stories of purity, smart logistics, and honesty that you've never been told. From consistent approvals in blind tests to the quiet praise of gastronomy experts, we're going to reveal what you should be using every day, especially now when budgets are tight. Because for years we believed that good oil meant luxury oil, that premium imports from the old continent were the only way. Except that recent news, technical reports, and the very reality of the global harvest have shown the opposite. There are market giants delivering real quality for a price that fits your pocket. And there are expensive brands with beautiful packaging that fail and are humiliated in the lab. Today, you'll discover 5 options that deliver health, flavor, and, above all, the guarantee that you're getting pure olive juice and not vegetable oil with coloring. And maybe after this analysis, you'll never spend money unnecessarily in the oil aisle again. Let's contextualize the scenario because it affects your wallet. In the past, olive oil was a luxury, something for Sundays, for big holiday meals. Today, it's become a staple for cardiovascular health. But with the climate crisis in historic production areas in recent years and exploding inflation, the market has become a minefield. Recently, we've seen massive operations by authorities seizing thousands of liters. There have been famous brands, local brands, brands that imitated traditional labels, all of them banned for mixing lampante oil, unfit for consumption with vegetable oil and flavorings. The consumer has become paranoid. The fear of being cheated has pushed many people to overpay just for a sense of security, but it doesn't have to be that way. Recent tests and market evaluations show that good and cheap does exist. It just doesn't have the marketing you're used to. Number 1, the silent champion of the smart shelves. In series of tests conducted over the last few years, this reference frequently rises to the top or into the top 3 of the quality rankings, often surpassing traditional imported brands that cost double or triple. And what's most shocking for the unaware consumer is that its price is often extremely competitive, competing in the entry-level range depending on the supermarket's promotion. It seems too good to be true. A cheap oil that wins quality tests? But the secret isn't magic, it's logistics. It's an oil produced in the southern hemisphere. Why does that matter so much? These regions have a perfect Mediterranean climate, protected by natural barriers against pests. This means they use fewer plant protection products, but the masterstroke is the distance. An oil from the old continent takes months to travel, crosses the equator, and undergoes thermal variations. The oil from these neighboring regions arrives on your table much younger. And in the world of oil, youth is everything. Oil isn't wine, it doesn't improve with time, it must be fresh. This reference has a very low acidity, generally 0.2 or 0.3%, which is a chemical sign that the olive was healthy and was processed a few hours after harvest. Consumers and specialists report that it has a smell of cut grass, of green tomatoes. This fresh aroma that indicates living polyphenols and a medium fruity flavor that isn't too bitter on the palate. It's the perfect oil for everyday use, for salad, for finishing dishes. While many people spend a fortune on gourmet brands that have been stuck in stock for 2 years oxidizing, this one delivers real freshness for half the price. It's the most rational purchase you can make today. Number 2, the underrated option from a popular brand. Don't make a face. I know exactly what you thought. This brand is famous for frying oil, for industrial lemon juice, and for that oil in an old iron can that stayed at the back of the cupboard. There's a huge prejudice against the brand, but its extra virgin line in glass bottles, coming from southern regions, has surprised many people in blind tests and laboratory analyses. In recent evaluations, it has consistently appeared as an honest, pure, and approved option in all physicochemical parameters. What's happening here is purely psychological. Since this brand makes popular products, we tend to think its extra virgin oil is inferior or blended. But reports show that it's real oil without fraud. It has a milder flavor profile, less pungent, sweeter, which really appeals to the average palate that doesn't like that oil that scratches the throat. It's neutral, effective, and correct, and the impact on the budget is radical. It's often one of the cheapest on the market. If you use oil for cooking, for sautéing everyday dishes, it makes no financial sense to waste a gold-priced oil. The heat is going to evaporate those subtle flavor notes anyway. This option offers a healthy fat, chemical purity, and costs a fraction of the price. Aren't we just paying an aesthetic packaging tax with other brands, while this one delivers the basics done right? The tests indicate that we are. For everyday culinary use, it's one of the smartest choices. Number 3, the Great Industrial Classic. A classic that many think has become commonplace, but which continues to be a model of consistency in a chaotic market. In a scenario where new brands pop up out of nowhere and disappear months later due to fraud. Remember the dozens of brands with noble names that were recently banned. This brand maintains a rigorous industrial quality control that's hard to match. It belongs to one of the largest oil groups in the world and owns its own olive groves. It's a safety argument. When the brand owns the tree, the olive, and the mill, it's much harder for fraud to occur than when the brand is simply a bottler buying in bulk. The traceability is total. Tests continue to rank this reference, especially its selection version, as an extremely reliable product with no serious sensory defects and with the actual acidity matching the label. It's the safe harbor. When you don't want to take a risk, this brand always tastes the same. Their standardization is military, and this exclusive pouring cap they've patented isn't just aesthetic. It helps save product and protects the oil from oxygen, the number one enemy of quality after light. The price fluctuates, but during promotions, it becomes unbeatable for the security it offers. In a sea of fraud, the consistency of this brand is an affordable luxury. You pay, and you take home exactly what you bought. Number 4, the dual range strategy. A single type for cooking and a classic extra virgin for finishing. Here, we need to make a technical distinction that saves a lot of money. This brand is giant, omnipresent. This scale allows for better prices, but many people confuse the bottles. The red bottle version is often not extra virgin. It's a blend of refined oil with virgin oil. Why is it on this list? Because it honestly keeps its promises. It's an oil made to withstand high temperatures. If you're going to sauté or fry, using a very expensive extra virgin is just throwing money out the window. Aromatic compounds degrade at high heat. This version is honest and safe. It's not an oil made from other vegetables. It's 100% olive, but refined to have a higher smoke point. As for the classic extra virgin in the green bottle, it continues to be approved as pure oil with a correct sensory profile. It's not the best oil in the world, but it's a worthy oil, with a slight bitterness, and it costs half as much as prestige brands that are often rejected. For the family that cooks every day, having this safe option is fundamental. The strategy is to have both, the basic one for the heat and the green one to finish the dish. Number 5, the new benchmark of the inverted season. It's another option from the Southern Hemisphere that arrived quietly and has conquered a huge space. This brand benefits from the productive efficiency of its region. In the rankings for best value for money, it frequently appears as a rational choice. The label is simple, the bottle is dark. A positive point, because clear glass degrades the oil in a few weeks, and the content has low acidity. Specialists point out that it has a freshness superior to many oils imported from the old continent. Why? The logic of the inverted harvest. When we buy oil at the end of the year, the European harvest is almost 1 year old. The Southern Hemisphere harvest is more recent relative to our calendar. While we buy tired traditional oil, this one is at the peak of its vigor. A new oil is a good oil. Old oil oxidizes and loses its anti-inflammatory properties. This brand manages to deliver this freshness for a very low price. It's the secret of those in the know who don't want to pay for the label of a distant import. It's imported, yes, but from a region that produces well and delivers fast. And the bonus number, which earns an honorable mention for resilience. Another traditional Iberian brand, which, despite being extremely industrial, maintains a commendable consistency. In tests where gourmet brands fail due to fraud or oxidation, this one passes unscathed. It's the robust workhorse oil that guarantees food safety. Now, to never be fooled in front of the shelf again, follow this quick 5-point guide before putting the product in the cart. First, look at the bottling date. Forget the expiration date for 1 minute. What defines quality is the moment of bottling. If it's over 1 year old, the oil has already lost half of its shelf life. A cheap, fresh oil is infinitely better than an expensive old oil. Look for bottles less than 6 months old. Second, dark glass always. Light destroys antioxidants at a frightening speed. If the bottle is clear, the brand doesn't care about preservation. The color of the oil doesn't indicate quality, but protection against light indicates seriousness. Third, the logistical origin. The southern hemisphere or nearby regions often have better value for money today. It's mathematical. Less sea freight, less storage. You pay for the oil, not for the ship's fuel. Fourth, beware of flash sales from unknown brands. If the oil costs a certain average price and an unknown brand appears for less than half, it's fraud. It is mathematically impossible to produce and tax extra virgin at this price. But if a well-known brand is on sale, it's an opportunity. Fifth, check the acidity but without obsession. Marketing has made us believe that the lowest number is gold. Up to 0.8%, it's extra virgin. A well-made 0.4% oil is truly excellent. The most important thing is not to have a rancid or musty smell. Acidity is just a chemical number. It's the palate that's in charge. Sixth, use your phone right there on the spot. Do you see a new brand with a rustic name? Type oil plus name plus fraud on the internet. If there is a ban, just run away. Fraudulent brands change names, but the internet doesn't forget. The truth is that the market has improved its controls, but fraudsters are now using sophisticated dyes and flavorings. Your best defense is information and staying loyal to historic brands. Don't risk inflaming your body just to save a few cents. Be smart, protect your table, your heart, and your pocket.